as you know, we're in a 3 Chuen lunation on the lightning path. And some of the keywords associated: the possibility of communication, talks, pleas, requests, the written word, stability, having the ability of knowing what to give others, taskmasters, builders, repair and maintenance teams. And then Barb's done a beautiful painting, silk painting of Chuen. We've got our colors and images all swirling together. This is keywords: mask, clans, humor, artistry, theater, disguise, reversal, disruption, spontaneity, amusement, hanged man, transparency, and so on. Tribal meetings. We're having a little tribal meeting right at the moment. So coming out of our new moon meeting, Barb, you posted your birth chart and indicated my harmonic triangle is between Moon in Pisces, Jupiter in Capricorn, and Venus in Scorpio, which is a lovely triangle, which in the presentation of your chart that we have here, which is using the 0 Aries house structure, that puts your moon very close to 0 Aries, which is what I've been drawing our attention to over the last couple of months. This movement of Uranus, or I'm sorry, of Neptune through Pisces. It's just coming up close to 0 Aries here in the next, it'll be at 0 Aries in the next couple of years. So the fact that your moon is there right at the end of the zodiacal cycle, this is a really significant place for a moon placement. It implies a real capacity to probe the underworld and be given insight into the human psyche at a really deep level. And it's the culmination of a whole cycle, a 12-component cycle of existence. And you've got this triangle, this harmonious triangle, which just adds to your perceptivity, if there is such a word. And so I was really taken by that. I mean, just looking at your chart initially and seeing that triangle, it actually awakened something in me. And it was this connection. I thought, well, look at these little triangles showing up. There's the triangle. I'm seeing a triangle in your the glyph to represent your temple. The what are we? I'm forgetting the name of this particular glyph right in this moment. But also the structure of the temple on the lightning path, the 13 moons making up the temple, and that resonance between that, your triangle here, and this triangle here, and then up in here. That's the sort of pattern connection that I was speaking about earlier. So once that starts to happen for me, it's just like the inspiration just starts to erupt. And on we go to being more specific now, looking at your moon at Pisces 26 degrees. This is your natal moon. I want to just kind of recall the Sabian symbols, and you guys are pretty familiar with these, but for the larger group out there viewing this at a later time, I just wanted to make sure that people realize the facility of the Sabian symbols to bring inspiration to us from other realms. These Sabian symbols are really highly used now. They were only discovered or brought through in 1925 at this particular spot, which is in San Diego. Remember the name of this? Oh, there we are, Balboa Park in San Diego. So in 1925, we had Elsie Wheeler, lived in her wheelchair, and a clairvoyant, attended Mark Edmund Jones, the guy on the right. He was foremost astrologer at the time in the U.S., and they collaborated this one day at Balboa Park, where he had 360 cards, and over the course of I think it was two 2-hour sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, Elsie brought through, she clairvoyantly brought through one image for each of those 360 cards. So these have become what's called the Sabian symbols. The Sabians being an ancient esoteric group from, I don't know, way back when in Europe. So Jones initially started to work with each symbol and do an interpretation. And then over the years, Rudyard got involved and he did his version, and there have been other versions as well, but all based on this channeling that came through in 1925. Now on the internet, the fellow that I would recommend as a source for all things Sabian is James Burgess. A very likable fellow. I've worked with him in a couple of video interactions. And as he says, each of the 360 symbols and explanations can be seen as a life mystery. Each of us will have our own personal take on it, and this can be as valid as any attempt the author makes to give objective meaning. It all depends on how capable you are at opening the subtle, intuitive aspect of mind to unveil the mystery. Well, that last part certainly describes you, Barbara, the Barbara that I know. So intuitive and perceptive. And so the Sabian symbols are really there to help us open our intuitive capacity. So on James's site, we have a whole section devoted to the Sabian symbols individually. We also have a video for, I think, pretty much each symbol now in the 360. He's done a huge work with this and continues to do so. He's on a little island off of Ireland, I believe. So if you go to his site, jamesburgess.com, you'll get a reading like this for each degree. So when we look to Barbara's moon at Pisces 26 degrees, this is a description of your moon, Barbara, according to the Sabian symbol. And I was just so taken by a new moon that divides its influences. I mean, how auspicious that you would have such a placement and that we would be meeting regularly at the time of the new moon. I mean, it's just, I love that kind of confirmation that, yeah, we're on a really deep, well-trod path here that's ancient, and we can benefit from contemplating these symbols, to help us bring forth that intuitive capacity. So as James puts it, Pisces 26 has to do with freedom of choice. As he said, civilization demands conformity, but the soul requires freedom to choose what comes next. And the keynote here, exercise your free will. And I know I watched one of your recent videos, Barbara, and you were talking about the way we relate to children, the way parents relate to their children. I mean, some people are constantly in control of the child. They're always, showing them this, telling them to do that. And I know you put out a call for just, allowing the child to learn on their own, not being directed by an adult, but just allowed to freely engage with their life, and how important that is on a really fundamental level. And I'm so in agreement with that. And it's one reason why I never followed through on being a school teacher in the school system. I realized I was up against this whole control mechanism, controlling the children, in a not necessarily beneficial way. So this, once again, this resonance between the Sabian symbol and your natal moon just seems so right somehow. A new moon that divides its influence. So this is well, on the right is a recent entry in my journal. What I've done is just feature the upcoming moon cycles, just a brief. I wanted to get the sense of the territory that we're coming into as we now ascend the steps of the Temple of Eagles. And here we're in the third moon. And as we see highlighted here, with the fourth moon, we'll be moving in, at the next new moon, we'll be moving into the ebb portion of the journey. But right now we're in that 3-2N, which according to the Sabian symbols has this keynote of Pisces 21. So the new moon was in Pisces 21. So the Sabian symbol is a disappointed woman courageously faces a seemingly empty life. And I know I know somebody who will connect with that one. So this is the composite sun for Joanne and I. So that's a whole other story, which we won't go into at the moment. But another confirmation that, yeah, this is a kind of a narrow path here. It really hangs together. So as I was writing these out, I'm going, each new moon, we go from the disappointed woman to, with the next new moon, we'll have a little white lamb, a child, and a, what's that? And a serpent, a servant. And then we go to, with that following new moon, a young girl feeding birds in winter. And this is where my just exploration started to really open up. There I came to the next symbol, and we get a new continent rises out of the ocean. And I'll tell you, in that moment, like my head just started to swell up, and I got this whole sense of presence of this upcoming turn of events, let's say, into the much more expansive. And then following that, we have the head of a robust thinker, a youth, changes into that of a mature thinker. I thought, wow, this looks like a really, and this is getting to the seventh moon. So we've got the seven eagle here. So this again, what I'm illustrating is the way that I have been working with the Sabian symbols. And it's a way, that orients us towards activating this intuitive capacity. It's a non-traditional approach when it comes to astrology. This is your lightning path approach, which just says leap in, and if you're catching on to patterns, hang on to them, find how they connect, and you will be led onward. And that's just the nature of the journey. So. Just to note that right now, Neptune is at Pisces 27. So because I have been periodically drawing your attention to this fact of Neptune being in the last degrees of Pisces. I think the Neptune cycle is what, 178 years, I believe. So it's a long cycle for us to be looking at. So to be tracking it on a degree by degree basis, this is a major journey into the kind of the unconscious, through the auspices of Neptune, Neptune being our inspirer and drawing us on. And here we are with Neptune at Pisces 27. We reap what we sow, which is so characteristic of the ending of a cycle. This is the seed portion. What seed are we consolidating out of this journey? And when we get to the level of Neptune, we're talking all humanity. All humanity is coming to some kind of seed consolidation at this time. And those of us who are drawn to be seed people, as Rudyard refers to, we're called to extract from the global civilization essential elements, only essential elements, and to let go of the non-essential. And so that's going to show up differently in each of our lives, but that's the nature of the work at this time, is the letting go and allowing the more expansive, the soul realm to have its day. The harvest. So Mr. Burgess kindly provided this graphic, and he's here emphasizing these last 5 symbols that Neptune is passing through. One of which is Barbara's moon. So the Neptune will be ticking off these actual degrees now for the next year and a half, 2 years, till we get down to the Pisces 30 and the great stone face. And I know somebody who's got a particularly dynamic connection to that. We'll be hearing a lot more from. So it's really very fertile, as it says there, a fertile garden under the full moon. This is a really rich time of the cycle, and we're going into it consciously, and it's a real opportunity to expand consciousness. And that would be it for this portion. So thank you. And back to flipping on your.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
You're welcome. Yeah. Welcome.
Brings another aspect of the Sabian. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've been with him, right? Well, I think I got on board Sabians with Rudyard in 1973 when his version came out. This is one of I think 3 editions of the I Ching, or of the Sabian symbols of his, that I've gone through. I had to reinforce, use them a lot. So I know you guys have been exposed to them, and Barb, you've worked with them, I think, quite a while, haven't you?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No, I don't feel anything. I don't. It for me, it doesn't give me any. Maybe a little bit, but not very much information.
Right.
I don't know why. Maybe I didn't get into it, or I don't know.
Well, you're very much into the tarot, right?
Yeah, and I react to things which are sort of giving me information. If I cannot read all the cards. I do read whatever, like you know, when there's something inspiring me, and that's my freedom. That's when something inspires me, I can talk about it immediately, almost like it tells me something.
Yeah.
And with the Sabian symbols, I have an astrologer I really like very much. He always talks about the Sabian symbols, and I'm really trying hard to understand why he feels they are so precious. I'm really trying hard to understand why they are so precious. And sometimes something happens, but not really like it's blowing my mind or anything. It doesn't I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'm a woman. Maybe I'm not. You know. But he's really into it a lot.
And who is that?
That's I forgot why I have to see his I'm always listening to his stuff because I like him since a long time, and I always post stuff from him. I think on my Facebook I have posted his astrology from this full moon.
Okay.
And it relates also my readings, my tarot reading relates very much to what he's saying. So, and this time he talked about Psyche and Eros. And that was also very beautiful, very beautiful. And it's like this Mars and Venus energy, which is there, but it's also this like going beyond men and women, going beyond to eternal lovers, which is also very, or people, you know, like the Psyche history of the Greeks is really interesting. It's really something to go into, because they do something behind the back of Aphrodite, because Eros was supposed to kill her. He was supposed to destroy Psyche. So it's interesting how he says it. It's on my Facebook. I can't find it right now.
No.
So let's see.
Well, that's a whole other side of Psyche that I haven't come across.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's also relating right now to what's going on between Venus and Mars. This higher octaves of love, which is like not only like a relationship, it's like a connection. He explains it so well. So I would recommend you guys to go on my website, on my Facebook, and maybe check him out. Here, it's Astrology for the Soul, he's called his site. Astrology of the Soul.
Thank you.
Yeah, check it
New
out.
Paradigm Astrology. And his name, I don't know his name right now, but he's really cool. He's talking very much about the Sabian all the time. Each reading he gives, or each weekly thing, he brings in the Sabian symbol, because he was also a very disciple of Rudgar.
Yeah. Oh.
So I always listen to him, but it's really difficult for me to go for these symbols. Maybe because they're, I don't know. I mean, they're strange kind of symbols, you know. It's like sometimes, like you're saying also, like not reality connected visions, but it's also kind of strange situations, like he sort of mentions, you know. It's like, and I don't really get it sometimes, what they mean, or what they could, how they could influence us, but he talks about it a long time, so there must be something I'm missing out.
It's interesting, Barbara. What comes to me is like with your tarot reading. I mean, yeah, I mean, intuitively, or you're definitely connected to the tarot, from my understanding. And
yeah,
what comes to me, because I'm with the Sabian symbols too, I'm just kind of delving into and kind of just opening up to it.
okay.
So, but the few that I have, it's again, just the sort of I don't know, there's an energy, or the visual, just I don't go intellectually on anything, but there's something that like I question, or I'm confused, or I just with the symbol. And I wanted to comment to how you put that journey together, Dwayne, with picking out the Sabian symbols that are coming ahead. I like that idea, and I'm definitely going to spend a bit of time in that way with those with the Sabian symbols, because as I say, I'm just touching my toe into this, but yeah, I really liked your presentation, and it got me thinking about how to. Anyway, I responded. I resonated with how you had put. I'll spend more time on that.
You know,
But just back to you, Barbara. That's what came to me when you're explaining how you didn't. You're not. Nothing's coming to you, or you're not connected with the symbols. But that's what I thought. Well,
Maybe it's more intellectual. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But
well, my experience with like Sophia and my composite sun, it lands on a clear mountain stream, and I go, oh, I like that. So it's as simple as that feeling of how do I feel when I'm near a clear mountain stream? It feels very invigorating, very alive, and very bubbly, and those types of things. So that's how I kind of interpret. And as I like how Barbara said, well, it doesn't blow my mind. I think we all have our minds blown in different ways.
absolutely.
And so, yeah, my mind's blown with I went into other worlds on the lightning path. As Dwayne was revising it, it's changing in front of my eyes. I'm going, wait a minute, I just was looking at that page, and now things all changed. And I go, oh. And yeah, I went into the light body activation template. So I did all of mine, and I did all of Sophia's. So once I got the calculation confirmed with Dwayne for this month, so now I've got all our positions in the hexagrams, and it's fascinating. It's really opened up a lot. And now I started to do relationship comparison of where Sophia and I are conjunct in our planets.
Nice, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there. So that's where my mind is blown at the moment.
I like it.
And,
Let me tell you, that's a rare encounter that you're having. I don't know anybody else that has gone down that little path. So
yeah,
you're breaking through.
yeah. Well, I got 4 pages worth of stuff.
I love it. A man after my own heart.
Yeah. Then I realized, just now that my Mercury's at 26 degrees 7 Pisces.
Well, how about that?
With Neptune. So obviously I'm speaking up today.
Right on. Right on.
And yeah, so it's been very, very interesting. I do have a technical question on the formula for the light body activation. And that would be when I have in Aries 4 degrees 32 minutes. When I work it out, it comes to 0.81. So then I round that up to the first hexagram. But then there's no decimal. I don't know where my line is or where my chakra would be. Do you follow me in that?
You know,
it's 4 degrees Aries, so I don't add anything on to the absolute longitude, correct? Because it's just in 4 degrees Aries, because everything starts at 0 point Aries for the absolute longitude.
you know, this is a conversation I think you and I should have on our own
Okay.
out of this context, because myself, I'm having trouble just knowing exactly where you're at there, and
Okay. Yeah.
we're going to be dribble coming out of my mouth. But yeah, let's do that. Let's have a one-to-one, and we'll go into that and probably a whole lot more.
Yeah. Good.
And the same with you, Joanne. We're overdue for a one-to-one. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to that because I have questions that might be just more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would look forward to that. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in a more general way, we're talking psyche and eros. I have actually on the Lightning Path website, there is a short article about finding your eros in your birth chart. I refer to it as your passion button, and I would love to do a session with you guys where we actually go in and explore. So where is your eros? Where is your eros? And explore that individually. It just happens. Yeah. My eros happens to be at galactic center of all places.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
There must be something.
Something going on there.
Really galactic. I told you so. Because it was also triggering me when he talked about it. And he sort of the eros, he was just he made all her wishes come true, and she was in the palace, and she would just be like really set in beautiful surroundings. But the only thing was that he would never show his face, so she would not know who he is until she made clear that her sisters would be invited as well, because she felt so lonely, like Psyche felt alone, you know. And she must have been very beautiful as well. So, I mean, you can imagine how beautiful you have to be if Eros is totally into you, you know. So, but she would never see his face. And then these sisters made her look. And then when she saw this super duper beautiful Eros and his real identity, he flipped away. He disappeared forever. And she had to sort of leave the palace and everything, and that was her downfall. It's interesting. I tell you, it's really interesting. And she had to really go through a lot of stuff with Aphrodite, because she came to know about this whole thing. So she had to complete a couple of things, and they're very similar to the Sabian symbols. Like, she had to do such and such, and it was almost impossible to do. But she got help from other gods. So she was always like, she was sent into the underworld to get Persephone's, some parts of Persephone's beauty. And she got it, she brought it back. So it's interesting. Let's see what you guys find out about it. Maybe it shows us something new.
Yeah.
And especially when you have this Eros thing degree as well. So we could all find out how close we are, or how interesting it is in us. Could be a possibility, like you offer it, you know. I haven't seen that.
I relate to having Eros at galactic center. It's just so natural that I would be aligning with the Mayan cosmology, which of all the cosmologies I've ever explored, that's the only one that zeroes in on galactic center.
Wow.
And here I have, over all these years, you know, had this fascination with the Maya, you know, like what is
right.
That? And up that pops. And, you know, and I've come across, Freud worked with this archetype as well, but he polarized Eros with Thanatos. So it's like the urge to live and the urge to die. That's kind of the polarity. And that's always fascinated me. Like, just what exactly was, how did that play out in his mind? You know, like where do we apply
Right.
that kind of knowledge? You know, so that there's a thread. Anybody wanted to explore?
We found a new
Another one, another world.
Another one. The threads, they're everywhere.
Which thread? Where? What thread are we pulling on?
That's life abundant, isn't it?
It's very abundant.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm finding the website very abundant.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a challenge because I've had to, well, as you guys probably know, I had a computer failure there just as we landed in Hawaii. So then there was the manifestation of a new computer, a change in operating system, migration of files into the iCloud. I had so many balls in the air at one time. Plus, you know, just get out and go and explore. But oh my God! And then coming back, having transferred a whole lot of files, and then tossed some things in the garbage, and then it turned out later, like, whoops, shouldn't have tossed that one. It was a big chunk of my regular world, you know, the cyber world. So here I am. I'm still struggling to get on top of all of this, and it's meaning, you know, I've got to learn new software, upgraded software. It doesn't allow for the old templates that I've been using, so I've got to, you know, run it through new, and it's just some days it's almost overwhelming, but I'm getting better and better. Just saying, let go, you're not in control, just keep moving. Keep learning. What you were doing back then doesn't no longer apply, you know, so just let it go. You dump that file, you know, get on with it. Just accept it, you know. So yeah. The cyber world.
Wow.
So that picture to start with, is that of dawn? The lighting in it, is it dawn? Your first picture where it's somewhat dark.
The bluish. Yeah, that's I didn't create that image, but it was one that was crafted, consciously crafted by the guys that put that particular let's say template together. And unfortunately it works so well, but it's that whole template that it goes with is kind of designed for small sites. The Lightning Path website has over 1,000 files. Doesn't quite work for a site that big, you know. So this is why we kind of put out the plea, you know, like, if you guys can have a chance to check through some of this, you know, see if it's still worthwhile, or do you get lost in it all, you know, like, I don't have all these tabs anymore to direct people, you know, specifically to specific files. It's kind of like you've got about 6 or 8 categories, and then there's nothing. Those 6 categories, you know, and meanwhile you've got 20 or 30 tabs that could go in that place. So so just to let you know, I'm reworking it.
Yeah, I noticed it as it goes along,
and your communication of your insights, or your, you know, any problems or insights, please do pass them on, because it's a bit of a bear at times.
I haven't had a chance or made time yet, Dwayne, to go in, and I would be a good person for feedback, because I get lost very easily, or I get overwhelmed very easily, or so I definitely will get in there, and I'll give you feedback as I can, or when as I go. I definitely will do that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains that photo, because it looks like, okay, it's in the dawn, and then when you go to another page, it's suddenly the sunlight rays
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that transition. It seemed
Right.
to work with the knowledge that's being expressed there.
Mhm.
And if you I don't know if you've noticed that there's a motion of a jet's tail light goes across the screen, and then there's there's
In
a
that,
little,
in
a
the
little
dawn
comet,
picture?
a little comet happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just open to the front page, which I thought was kind of cute. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a little feature, made it more dynamic, which is always a challenge.
It was very interesting. I just noticed when I first looked at it, I saw one star. And then when I kept going back and going to the tabs, and the dark picture would come up of dawn, I was noticing more stars. So it's,
Right on.
yeah. But I didn't realize it was a stock image. I thought it was maybe up in the mountains behind your place, because it looks very similar.
It really, yeah, had a very similar feel to the terrain
Mhm.
I was living in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I liked its simplification to start with. I wanted to stress that because it was, so
Yeah.
I read it just a few very short paragraphs to get me started. I feel that's very important for newcomers
Right on.
into your vast knowledge of your life's work. I feel that's pretty important that they have, and then there was only one link to press on to go to the next page. And I went, wow, that got it started. And then of course it can go into those other worlds, as we know. So,
Right on.
but to get started, I felt I really enjoyed its simplification to start with.
Great. Thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Really
it's
seeking that.
that feels more welcoming than overwhelming
Right on.
to start with.
Yeah. Good.
Mm.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good point, Stephen. I'm sure that's what I would find too. Just what you said. So very good point. I haven't experienced it yet, but yeah, good point.
So is there anybody's chart wants to be looked at and explored with the group mind?
Yeah, I'll go.
Right on.
I've got all the paperwork here. I'll just pull up my chart because I've got both of ours going here.
We can have you share your screen if you like.
Just see what I'm interested in here. Yeah, it seems like this, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Bold lines.
Right.
So that looks like Chiron. And we have Jupiter and the MC. That shows up the most bold. So I don't know if there's any insights in that. I know there's insights in it, but I don't know what's emerging there.
So that's the 0 Aries chart, right? So
Yeah.
So then, this has been my journey anyway. Is
Mhm.
the previous chart systems that I've used, like there's the Porphyry and there's Placidus and there's Koch. There's
Right.
all these different um, systems, and each one has its own integrity. And as long as you keep working within that domain, then you'll get, you'll go somewhere consistent.
Right. So I was working Placidus before, but with this absolute longitude that I was talking about earlier, it goes with the zero Aries
Right.
style. So,
Right.
and then that keeps all the houses in that same order as well.
So where I'm getting to in this is that personally, I've let go of the midheaven, the IC, the MC.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's like moving to that next level. And so my comments here, it wouldn't be too relevant, let's put it that way. Whereas I
My
know
chart is irrelevant.
but I'm irrelevant.
Wait a minute.
Barbara's the Chiron specialist on board here. And yeah, maybe there's for you, there's a direct line through your IC or your MC, just to make,
Right.
and that's the zenith or the nadir is what we're referring to.
Right.
See, with the zero Aries chart, the zenith is aligned with galactic center. That's just the way it works. And so that to me speaks volumes as to which chart am I going to work with? Well, it's going to be that one because that's there's my Eros up there as well. So whereas for you, the beginner in all of this, maybe it's still more relevant. As far as insights into that, if you've got so we're talking Chiron, Jupiter, right? That's the link.
Yeah, and if we eliminate the MC, there's the MC was conjunct with Pluto, so we can just replace Pluto with it if we want to just talk planets.
Well, if Pluto enters the room, we pay attention.
What's that?
I say when Pluto enters the room, we should pay attention.
We'll pay attention, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's just replace it with Pluto then.
Yeah.
So that's Pluto at
So Pluto in Leo.
Pluto in Leo, yeah.
So our talking about our generation.
Yeah, that's right. So it's generational, yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So that's and the hexagram is potential energy.
Okay, so for most folks, they're not going to understand this incorporation of the hexagrams into what we're talking about here, but this is where
right. You can elaborate on that.
Yeah, we're transposing from the birth chart into what we have behind me here, which is the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. And each hexagram is made up of 6 lines. And what we're doing is transposing the position of planets in the zodiac to position of planets in the circle of I Ching hexagrams. And so you get, rather than a Sabian symbol for the position of your Pluto, we're getting a hexagram and a line within the hexagram. So it becomes a very specific indicator of, I mean, the way I relate to it is that these are all memory generating excursions, or, the symbols are there to help us open our intuition.
Right.
And the hexagrams are noted for that. They've been around for thousands of years, and here we are once again, regenerating the ancient book of changes into the 21st century, and we've got new jargon and we've got this and that. So they're really valid as far as I'm concerned.
Right. I love it because I'm allowed to use. I feel like I get to use it all.
Right on.
From the chakra to the hexagram to the planetary alignment.
You got it.
And of course, this is at birth. And when I read the hexagram, then I can go, okay, so what have I learned in this journey around my potential energy in the generation? Like, what has our generation done
Mm.
up to this point? Things like that.
Why don't we pick up on that? So what's the exact degree of your Pluto?
Pluto is 21 degree 13 minutes. Leo.
2113. So as always, with the Sabian symbols, we round up to the next whole number,
Right, to 22.
22. So Leo 22. And do you have it written down?
I don't have the Sabian symbol written down, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't do Sabians, I just did the light body activation hexagrams.
Oh, the hexagram. Okay.
Right.
Do you have anything? Do we have that hexagram? Is there anything you want to share about that particular hexagram? You were saying it's in the.
Oh, yeah, it's
What?
25. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's yours. There it is. Yeah, the hexagram was 26, which is, there's a couple of names for it, potential energy, or it's the power of the great to tame.
Right.
And so the last couple of days, I've done all the calculations and found all the hexagrams and found all the chakras. But haven't had time to read the hexagrams yet. So
Right now.
I'm just going from what does it feel like?
My,
Oh, yeah. Don't you have?
my-
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, he has the
I
book
have the
here.
book here.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the one that I use a lot. Yeah, that's an excellent one as well.
yeah.
I really like this
So-
version, Brian Walker.
Hmm.
It's just really well. I'll share
Yeah, Sherry.
Yeah.
the keynote that he has for this hexagram, which is mountain over heaven. In the face of rising tension, keep still. Honor in practice what you have learned from the I Ching. A difficult and challenging time must be taken as an opportunity to express in the outer world our highest inner principles. This hexagram counsels us to keep still under pressure and embody the virtues of the I Ching. In this way, even the most arduous trials can be successfully met. So when we come in on a generational level, I mean, we're the generation that, as children, had to contend with the possibility of a nuclear attack.
Mhm.
Being, you know, our whole the whole life, and as we've matured, you know, as we've allowed
We
that,
get to watch the movie Oppenheimer.
which I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
I must see for sure. But so can I just ask a question here or point?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I'm just to clarify, which I guess is almost a rhetorical question. So we all of us right here, and maybe our generation has Pluto in Leo, pretty much. Just we'll all be at different degrees. Is
Different
that-
degrees. Yeah.
Okay, but we all have the Pluto in Leo. Okay. And then we
Yeah.
just look up the degree that we have, where our Pluto is,
Mhm.
to get our, yeah, okay.
And because you and I are born so close together, it's very likely that we have exactly the same Pluto.
Right. What is your degree, Pluto, with the chart we're looking at now? So what degree is your Pluto?
Dwayne?
You're talking to me, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes, I'm Dwayne, yeah.
25, innocence. All good comes when we are innocent. In the very center of each of us, there dwells an innocent and divine spirit. If we allow ourselves to be guided by it in every situation, we can never go wrong.
Hmm.
Yeah, and see, my MC is innocence,
Oh,
because it's right in with that Pluto, but that degree is different by just a touch.
just a touch.
So that's where I fall into the innocence in that, our innocent generation.
So Dwayne, you just read the 25 degree, right?
Yep.
25 hexagram.
Well,
25.
was that, it would be both? I mean, 25 would be, because I'm looking at the chart, the degrees Leo that Pluto's in. So what you just read, was that the Sabian symbol you just read, or the?
Oh, that was the hexagram.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And that has to be determined by those calculations I was talking about earlier. So it doesn't come from that exact, exact degree that you're looking at.
Oh, okay.
It has to be calculated from the 0 degrees Aries.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't.
That's a whole nother.
It's a transposition.
That's the technical part.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get into that right now.
But but you realize you're in the area, right? You're in that area of Leo.
And I guess with what Dwayne just read, we're so close that's probably the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it more specifically refers to the first line or the first chakra. So since I've done my calculations, I've been aware that Pluto is at my root chakra. And in the past, there's been times where I have, like most of us, I've really struggled with who am I and what's going on in life, and everything seems to be swirling and can't get still. And once I knew that I had Pluto at the root chakra, I thought, God, I just need to be still. That's the nature of grounding in the first chakra, is to cultivate this presence in the present moment. And it occurred to me that if I simply slow down and calm out, all good is going to come to me. And man, it works. It's like getting got the lasso around the horse, and we got to calm down and get him settled down here, and
meditation, right?
Yeah, meditation, just on that little keynote, can mean so much.
It's so good.
So I can learn from Dwayne, because when I look at my light body activation template, I have that Pluto at 26, and mine also falls at the first line and the first chakra. So we have that same position.
There's a resonance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful.
What about Barbara? Like what is your degree Pluto in Leo or with?
I have the same, like all you guys.
Oh,
but
okay.
I have my Mars also there. My Mars is in Leo.
Is it conjunct your?
No, it's close. Okay. It's not conjunct, but close. I mean, it's this strong. It's like I always feel very powerful and I'm always protected. It's this innocence in a way which protects me, because people, whenever they think they can fool with me, or they then this protection comes and nobody touches. Like it's a real, very strong protection, I feel.
Mm.
So, and it's very strong. Like, it chases everybody away. It's like I can chase police away. I can cheat, you know, when, and whenever
Are you
in my life
available
I
for
had
hire?
to use it, when I had to use it, I would yell or would not comply with whatever they wanted me to do. I would do it my way and I would get away with it. I mean,
Beautiful.
I'm getting older and I don't really use it that much, but it's this power, you know, and it's also like very scary for some people when they touch that point because they think, okay, she's a nice person and I can rip her off or something.
Mm.
But boy, they don't know what's behind it. It's very underworldly, you know. It's like in this Pluto realm. It's very bad. I mean, it's a very dark force in a way, dark Veda force.
Well, harness it and use it well.
I don't use it at all anymore because I feel so, you know, the older you get, you don't, well, who knows? I mean, if I would have problems with survival, I probably, as old as I am, I would know a trick how to get around, you know. It's like an underworldly protection, like a dragon, you know, or some really underworldly energy which I would bring forth and destroy the obstacle.
So I find it interesting with Pluto and then talking about it being generational because of its slow moving.
Yeah.
And we could look at each generation, like what are the Gen Zs,
Yeah.
what are the millennials, Gen
Absolutely.
X, because with ours, we're close in that 26 hexagram and then of course the 25 hexagram. So I have the 26 hexagram, but Sophia has 25 hexagram of innocence. So they're close together
Mhm.
because of the slow movement of Pluto, but there's a whole generation of people that have those, they're dealing with that hexagram.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, core issues.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, Pluto is also plutonium, you know. It's this explosive or this life threatening energy.
Yeah. On innocent people.
Uh,
Mm.
and we are happy.
Interesting. Mm.
Well, the reading I get for first line, root chakra, Pluto, one who remains detached and innocent no matter what is assured of good fortune.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
That's Pluto in innocence, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Sophia has the same thing in the same line. So you have that in common, the two of you.
My sister.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Oh, 25. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
At line 1, chakra 1.
Mm. Yeah. Perfect.
Grounding.
Yeah, yes, that
Grounding
was,
innocence. I've definitely
really
used that consciously in some of my encounters with the community at large. Like just going into situations, really holding that innocence in mind, you know, realizing that things could go any way here, but the more I can just be steady and address the fundamental truth and just keep with that, the better things work out. And
mm,
like you,
mm,
Barbara, it's like a sense of protection, you know, that if I truly can keep on this path in a peaceful way, you know, nothing's going to knock me off.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
in stillness.
What was that?
Yeah, that,
In stillness. Stillness. When
Feel
you
it?
meditate in the stillness, nothing gonna knock you out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. I'm really in the last while, yeah, grasping that more. Like, I think over the time you've all seen me kind of flying off everywhere, which I tend to I tend to do. That's
Well, that's the whole temple area you're playing in.
yeah, exactly. So this is wonderful to hear, or that again, the two things that Barbara pointed out last time about my Uranus being my grounding, like it's in it's in the bottom of my chart. So you're like to let that energy, or that whatever happens with Uranus or the lightning, to be able to ground that. And now with Dwayne saying here now too, with the Pluto in the first chakra, it just adds to that. And that's I'm finding that very helpful for me to take in and think about and be with, is that bring that, hold that energy or ground that energy, or
Channel, yeah, like a channel.
yeah, that's this is, yeah, very, very helpful. Very helpful. Yeah.
Well, here's another feature. Each chakra has a particular yoga. So the root chakra is hatha yoga. So it's the physical postures, as opposed to, for example, the crown chakra, which is jnana yoga, the yoga of knowledge. So you've got, and in between the two, you've got every combination with the different yogas, So that's another way to work with this knowledge, is for your transformation template. There are yogas that are very specific, specifically aligned with that chakra. So
yeah,
perfect. Yeah. Yes, for sure.
And I'm doing the heartfulness yoga. I'm doing the heartfulness meditation.
Exactly.
Which is like the heart is in the middle of all the. So it's interesting. It's definitely something which is really important for me to be meditating. And that's actually, when I started meditating, I stopped feeling like in a cycle and knocking my head in just because, like, running. But now with this meditation, I always have like a spiral feeling, so I can sort of work on myself by being quiet and going inside of your heart. And it's a beautiful place. It's the most beautiful place is being in your heart. It's so beautiful there. It just it's you have to find it. You have to sort of, but only in silence you can go there. And then you can start working there. So you can sort of organize yourself, your light energy there, So, and then when you sort of, after the meditation, you bring back that light, which sort of keeps your day balanced, and it doesn't bring you out of balance.
Yeah, sometimes
you're not shaking back and forth, and you're centered. Sorry. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to calm the Chuen mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, speaking of, where's our little guy, Kopi?
Oh, he's over here. I'll show you Kopi.
Dwayne, can you show us the book?
Oh yeah, I'll write that down.
Because our book is falling apart, so we need to replace it. The I Ching. I Ching. Yeah.
Which one's that?
Who's the author?
Who's the author there?
Brian Brown Walker.
Brian Brown Walker. Brian with a Y.
Hold it up again. Yeah, I'm just going to take a picture.
BRI?
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay.
What's the title? I Ching, obviously.
I Ching, or Book of Changes, a guide to life's turning points.
Yeah, okay.
It's nice.
Yeah, the oldest book.
Yeah, it's kind of what they figured.
Yeah.
I think I've got the same one as you guys have, Steve and Sophia. I think it's that big. It's a 8.5 by 11. Yeah.
It's good,
Yeah.
but you used it so much that it's falling apart. So
Yeah.
yesterday we were talking about, oh, maybe look for a new one. So it just showed up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and
I think-
I've sent out the link to the version that I created using ChatGPT.
Oh yeah.
Deep Dream, and I don't know. I've found that it's got some pretty potent insights as well. So
Okay.
check it
Oh.
out if you haven't.
Yeah. Oh,
So there he is. He's just kind of hanging around.
oh. Oh, so does he have different outfits, or is he always in the green and blue?
Well, he's always in the green and blue because I
Right.
painted
Oh,
that on.
he's painted. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Right.
but he can change his power vest. This is his solar plexus light, and very interesting. After I did the cut in his collar on the vest, it looks like a little evergreen tree in here.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So he's
Hmm.
yeah he's blue, green, and brown. So he's just like the planet.
Hmm.
And his mission is to make the world a better place.
Oh.
And
Well.
he just does it because he knows whether it works or not, he just strives at making the world a better place. It doesn't matter if it solves climate change or not. It doesn't have to get political. He just makes the world a better place.
That's great, Steve. Really.
Excellent. Yeah.
Did you take him out in public?
Yeah, I took him out before he had his clothes, his first outing. And
Right to your chiropractor.
yeah, I was sitting in the waiting room, and the two girls and the mother came in, and they were just thrilled. And to see that awestruck look in their eyes was the magic.
Nice.
And now they came back again, and they said, oh, what was the name of the puppet? Because I didn't have Kopi with me. And they wanted to try and figure it out. What was the name?
Wow.
And they're just interacting in a way. And now they'll be back next week, and they'll see Kopi in his outfit.
That's great.
Neat.
Really
That's
good.
That's his vest, and it slips over his head. And then I could make different colors if I want. Or the different chakras, or he's willing to shine a light on the shadow as well.
That's excellent, Steve. That is so good. That is just, yeah, a sign of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes with innocence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very innocent. The innocence with it is like very healing. So we all have this healing energy, by being so playful and being able to use innocent instruments to make people laugh, make people happy again. Not, he's looking at me, he's listening. and he's not afraid of things. So this is beautiful. This kind of energy I also want to bring forward in the channel. I'm not going for the fear mongering. I want children to be free and explore themselves and make little themselves and invent names for them and stuff. This is so important. This is so important right now. And that's the gift we guys, our generation, can still give and hand over. There's nothing else anymore we should do.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
besides being in our group.
Mhm.
And feeling good that we are still here, that we are still
Yes.
having a little group of like-minded, and have Kopi, look, he's smiling while I'm saying that. So create things together which are sort of innocent,
Yeah,
and that everybody can respond to that.
yeah. And I think
And even I think
oh,
I
sorry.
think in a like, especially when there are bombs falling and people getting destroyed, I think they have to disconnect from that kind of terror, and somebody who's playing with innocent puppets like this, they are the ones who are sort of redirecting the fear into a beautiful imagination. It's an escape into another reality, isn't it? And you have bombs falling and people dying around you in war places which are on, and
Yeah.
with that innocence energy, we always saved ourselves. Like in the Lord of the Rings, didn't I tell you that? When I was doing the reading for you, Joanne, this Lord of the Rings is very interesting. How he sees the hobbits as well. They were innocent.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
that generation of innocence
Mhm.
who were sort of bringing this story forward of the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Tolkien shared that story to our generation.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
exactly. So how many times
Yeah.
we have to put the rings into the fire?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is
Only,
what
only Kopi can tell us.
yeah what we were born for, eh? We were born for this transition, for this age, for this. That's why, yeah. Well, anyway, that we're still here, physically still here
Yeah.
for this time, for this transition is, yeah, we're, yeah.
And some turned into golems, it's like not everybody made it, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
you want to be on this. Innocence is the only place where you get sort of saved and not fall into the pit of fire where the ring is going.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I want to be reminded about that. The reading, though, the innocence, was that our the Sabian symbol? No, that was the not the Sabian symbol.
The
That
I
was
Ching hexagram.
25.
I Ching
20,
25.
20. Yeah, I want to look that up and read it and reread it and have it. Yeah, okay, 25. Innocence. Oh, it makes so much sense. Oh, that makes so much sense. Oh my goodness me.
And how was your birthday?
Oh, it was the biggest, best, if you're asking me. We've already
Yes?
asked Dwayne, or did we? Yeah, okay.
No, you,
Oh, it's my,
because it was your birthday too.
right.
Mhm.
Well, it was, I had wonderful surprises. I had a week long of, I had a brother and sister-in-law from Saskatchewan appear at my door. And a little bit, a couple hours later, I go to the door and my brother and sister-in-law from BC are at the door. And it's like,
Wow.
it just blew my mind. Like, traveling. I mean, we've had good winters, but I mean, you travel in the winter, you never know day to day.
Wow.
And so they came from
Gotta write that
BC through the
down.
mountains and from Saskatchewan. And so that just, that made my, yeah, a surprise like I've never experienced. So it was wonderful, just full of good energy, good, wonderful, heartfelt
Yeah, you look
energy.
charged. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. It just, filled me to overflowing for sure. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a Pluto moment for you, Darlin.
Yes, yes.
I'm pretty sure you're at Leo 16 with your Pluto. So when we go to the Sabian symbols,
Okay.
Leo 16, the storm ended. All nature rejoices in brilliant sunshine.
Wow.
Surge of life and love after a major crisis. The joy and power of new beginnings.
Oh, wow.
But somebody's got to do it.
Happy birthday.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. I will, another birthday gift. Thank you. Thank you. I will take that on gladly.
And I really like your the new surround you have. That painting in the background is glorious.
Well, I'm present. I would like to claim that it's mine, but I'm presently house cat sitting.
Oh, okay.
So,
Looks good on
and
you.
Mhm.
thank you. Oh, I wonder if they'll notice if it's not there when they come back.
Such a dull little painting off on the wall.
So yeah, they have their house. It's a really unique. It's an older style, and it's really unique. And they've got art pieces, beautiful art pieces all over the place. Every wall, everywhere you turn. So, and I've got three incredible, beautiful four-leggeds that I'm responsible for here, and it's just nothing but a love fest. So
Wow.
it's wonderful.
Good for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah. I feel blessed in so many ways.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you're counting those blessings.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, guys.
The moment of stillness, yes.
And I was taking in that this is one of my many blessings too. So right here.
Ah, the tribe. The tribal meeting.
You bet.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So are we ready to disband for the moment or anything else?
I go
Yeah,
to
well.
some chanting mantras. I will
Yeah.
go now with some Indian girls. I don't know how to chant, but I'm looking forward. I really like them chanting and me listening. It's really great.
Oh, little fifth chakra yoga.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's so innocent as well. I like the innocence of all these women. Every Saturday they come together
beautiful.
and sing mantras,
Wow.
and they're just going for it. They have no,
Mhm.
they're not shy about it if they sing bad or not. It's not important. It's
No.
just innocent.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just
It's
gonna enjoy it.
Powerful vibrations.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Hey.
Today?
And
Yeah. I think so.
So, bye bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy. Yeah.
Bye, you guys.
here's
Bye.
to
Yeah,
the
thank
innocent.
you.
Love you.
Hasta
The
pronto.
Enjoy your Chuen.
You too.
To the innocents.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.